always been someone who has big aspirations, big dreams, big visions. And for most of my life, I honestly thought that in order to achieve those things, I had to work really hard or that I had to force them into action. And I believe that was my approach because I've just been conditioned by our society to think that you must hustle, grind, and do to achieve things in life. And somewhere along the way, I just kind of had this thought of like, there has to be an easier way to go about this. There has to be a better way to achieve things without feeling like you're burnt out, you're stressed out, you're overwhelmed, and you've got nothing else in the tank to give. And that is when I came across the ancient philosophy called Wu Wei that has completely rewired my modern brain to now believe that I can actually achieve more by doing less. And so in this video, I want to talk about the ancient philosophy, Wu Wei, and how you can embody it in your own life to also achieve more by doing less and start to have those dreams and visions and aspirations come true and come into your reality and start to experience them and live them and realize that it doesn't have to be as hard as people told you it has to be. So the first kind of thing that makes it difficult is we live in a very goal-oriented world. Like the modern world is very goal-oriented. People love their goals. You got the annual goals, you got the 5-year goals, you got the 10-year goals. Any goal, name it, someone's got it, they love it, they're obsessed with it. But not only that, people have these really rigid approaches to achieving their goals. They set the goal and they push until they achieve that goal. And even when that goal clearly isn't working out and it's not budging, they continue to push, even if they're burnt out and they're drained and they don't feel like doing it anymore. Instead of having a little bit of flexibility and adaptability and finding a different approach or a different goal to go after entirely. And the Wu Wei philosophy is the antidote to this rigid modern approach to achieving things in life. So the Wu Wei philosophy states that we can achieve things through effortless action. And this doesn't mean taking no action. It just means taking action aligned with the things that are naturally flowing in life and the natural flow of the universe. So for example, if you think about that rigid approach, you set a goal and you keep pushing toward that goal and it's not budging. Instead of continuing to push like the modern world tells you, the Wu Wei philosophy invites you to take a step back, to assess what's going on, and to ask yourself, is the universe asking me to take a different approach to this goal? Or is the universe trying to nudge me in a different direction towards something else? Or has my desire completely changed entirely and I don't actually want this goal anymore? I want to find something that feels aligned with what I truly want, which will likely flow with more ease. And I think about this a lot through the context of my career and how it's unfolded and what I now do. My career first started in the mortgage industry. I had a finance degree, finance background, went into the mortgage world because I was like, you know what? I want to make a big, sexy paycheck. I want to make a lot of money. Let's do it. Let's hit the corporate ladder and let's push to the top. But from the day I got into my job, I was like, I have to find something else. This is going to be the death of me. If I'm going to work for the rest of my life, 1, I can't be in the mortgage industry. 2, I need to find work that means something to me. And this was right around the time where I started to really fall in love with writing. And I thought to myself, well, I feel this like enthusiasm and pull toward writing. Could I just follow that path as a career and see where it would lead to if it feels more aligned? And so I had to decide between the two paths. 1, I could stay at the mortgage company and push my way to the top, get that promotion, get that raise, but be miserable. Or 2, I could follow the writing path, which felt a lot more exciting. It felt like it was going to flow with more ease because I was actually excited about it. And I could kind of take a risk because there was no big paycheck waiting for me that was guaranteed. There was no predetermined growth path. It was all new. It was uncharted territory. So I thought about it and I was like, well, I don't want to be miserable. Even if I made a lot of money, I would prefer to jump in something new where it feels like the universe is trying to nudge me and call me and see where it will lead me. So that's what I did. I said, you know what? I'm going to close up the mortgage stuff and I'm going to make a pivot to the writing world. Not only did I make a pivot, but I had to take a $30,000 annual pay cut to get my first writing job. I mean, I still remember telling my friends about my new job and telling them the salary, and I could feel kind of the shame and guilt of taking such a big pay cut. But I knew deep down in my heart that I needed to follow the path that was flowing with more ease, the Wu Wei philosophy, instead of following the path that was the forceful action, and also the path that was going to make me feel more fulfilled. And so I started down that writing path with a company out of New York City as a junior writer. And it was the first time in my life where I felt like I actually enjoyed my job. And it was just flowing with so much ease. It was like, wow, this is what it's supposed to feel like maybe. Like I feel like I'm really making progress, but I'm not really feeling like I'm doing a lot because I'm enjoying it. Within 6 months, I was promoted from a junior writer to a staff writer. And then 6 months after that, I was promoted from a staff writer to an editor. And then a year after that, I was headhunted by Forbes to become a lead editor at Forbes. And then 4 years after my lovely time with Forbes, I quit my job with Forbes to go all in on chasing my dreams as a creative artist, an author, a singer, musician, all because I decided to choose the path that was flowing with more ease. And so then I think about all the things I would have missed out on if I chose the forceful path and forced the raises and the promotions of the mortgage job into my reality. I would have missed everything that I'm doing now, the work that makes me so fulfilled, things that make me feel creatively stimulated, that makes me feel invigorated with energy and enthusiastic about waking up every single day. And this is really the beauty of the Wu Wei philosophy. It says if we align with the natural flow of the universe and lead with effortless action, we can achieve things in life. And so all of a sudden, there's this ancient approach that we can use in the modern day to achieve more by doing less. And as someone with big aspirations and the big dreams and the big visions, I'm like, well, shit, I'm glad I learned this now, because now for the rest of my life, I can follow flow instead of friction. And you know, this might take a second to adjust to, because your brain and your nervous system have been conditioned to feel addicted to forceful action, or feel addicted to working really hard or hustle and grinding. And so when you start to go in this place of following the flow, it might feel like you're being passive because you're not taking all this action that's making you feel burnt out. But don't confuse that effortlessness for being lazy or being passive. You're just aligning with the things that are going to move you forward with less energy and less effort. It doesn't mean you're not going to be taking action. It means you're going to be focusing your action more intentionally on the things that are flowing in the right direction that the universe wants you to go. It's not no action. It's intentional, aligned action that feels effortless because you're in the flow. It's kind of like water flowing down a mountain. It doesn't stop. It just keeps finding the places it can go and the places it can flow down. And that is how we have to live our life. We have to look around our life through our physical awareness, but also our intuitive awareness, and assess where is that path that we can flow through our journey with ease, just like right down the mountain, like the water. For me, it was saying no to the mortgage job and saying yes to the writing job. I didn't know where that path was going to lead, but all of a sudden I was just in this flow. I was just moving and grooving, and things were happening. I was getting promoted. I was getting raises. I was getting headhunted by one of the biggest companies in the world. I was quitting my job to finally work for myself. I was in this rhythm with the universe because I followed the nudges it was giving me. And so when you think about this through the context of your own life, the way that you can start to embody it is start to listen to the whispers and the nudges of the universe and your intuition about where you are supposed to flow. Or if you're pushing toward a goal, but you're not seeing any progress and you're burnt out, you're stressed out, you're overwhelmed, and you just don't have anything left to give. Instead of taking that as a nudge to push more, take it as an invitation to step back and reassess. Ask yourself, is this the right goal for me? Is there a different approach? Is there something entirely different that's pulling me in a new direction. If you're like me and you have big visions, big aspirations, big dreams, and you want to achieve those things, but you want to do less, you want to apply more intentional, focused action that requires less effort, the number one thing you need to do in your life is embody this perspective and philosophy of Wu Wei. It will be the very thing that helps you flow to a new rhythm, achieve the things that you're setting out to achieve, all while doing less. And if I'm being honest, I cannot think of a better way to live. This is the end of having to do more to achieve more. This is the end of having to force outcomes. This is the end of having to hustle and grind and push to get the things that you want. And this is the beginning of following effortless action to experience the reality that you know is out there for you, to achieve the dreams that you have on your heart. This philosophy feels like one of the biggest unlocks I've ever discovered, and I'd love to know down in the comments if you've experienced something similar in your life by following the flow of the universe.